All right, peace and greetings, YouTubers. The king of R&B, the king of R&B, JACQUEES, sir. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. And I'm not even going to knock him as an artist or anything like that. I just want to say my 2 cents and be on my merry way. So, long story short, if you don't know, JACQUEES he's a newer artist. He has a little bit of back history where he's done, a few EPs. I think he just had an album come out this summer. And so, a lot of people don't know who he is, but he has a pretty good following on social media, especially with like the younger demographic. And so, he made a statement where he was saying that pretty much of his generation, he believes that he is the king of R&B. And now, to be fair, he gave the accolades to the generations before. He said that there's been the greats that have come before him, but he believes that specifically for his generation, as far as the demographics who listen to him, he is currently the king of R&B. And I said, you know what, that's the funny thing about this current vibe that we're all in. Everything is so instant and everybody wants a title without the work. Everybody wants a title right away. You come out with one song, you got to be the king of something, or the prince or the princess and the queen and this, that, and the third. And it's just like, bruh, slow your roll. You just got here. You may have done whatever you've done, because I think he's been doing music since about 2011, 2012, but we're just now hearing about him, and even when you go and look at Billboard, and the one thing is, music it's all subjective, and Billboard does not, it doesn't account for quality of music. It just means that's what everybody's listening to. But when I went to look on Billboard just to make sure I wasn't losing my mind, I didn't see any hits. I saw a few moderate R&B hits, and I say the low end of moderate. Not even like top 20, but like in the 40s and down. And there's no disrespect to what he's done. I'm just saying, my point is this. You just got here. You just got here. Your plane has just landed, sir. And you are already trying to get the baggage claim. Slow your roll. You know what I mean? Like when you get off the plane, like think about it, when your plane lands, like you just got here, you're a new artist. Your plane lands, you in the back of the plane. You gotta wait for everybody and their mom to get the stuff off the overhead compartments, all the carry-on bags. You gotta wait for all of them. And then, of course, it takes everybody and their mom 30 days in a year to get off the plane, especially if you're in the back. You got to wait for all of them to get off. You got to push all the way through. There's going to be somebody who need a wheelchair. You got to wait for them. There's somebody who got the oxygen tank. You got to wait for them to get out the way and everything. There's somebody with the bad hip who's trying to pull the bag down. You got to wait for all them people. Finally, you get off the plane. Then you got to walk that little connector thing that connects the plane to the airport. And you got to walk past all the people who had to check, the carry-on bags that couldn't fit in overhead. Then you finally make it into the airport. Now you got to get through the terminal. You got to go through all the terminal, walk past everybody. You're probably going to have to go to the bathroom because you've been on the plane for 5 hours. Go on in the bathroom, wait in that bathroom line. Finally get out. You get on the escalator. You might have to get on the subway, depending on how big the airport is, and ride to terminal wherever from whatever part you just got off of. And then when you finally get the baggage claim, your bag's not even there. You still got to wait. And don't let it be a carousel that got like 5 other flights in addition. You might be standing there for 30 minutes. Okay, so long story short, like your plane just landed, but you already trying to get your bag. Slow down, man. And like I said, it's not a diss to him as an artist. I don't have a beef with whatever he's doing. I like to see people be successful, but I also don't want to watch people sabotage their own success. Like my thing would just be humble down some. Like slow down. If you're really as good as you believe you are, that those accolades will come. You know what I mean? Like people, we're in this era where everything is about the titles. It's not even about the music anymore. And I think that's one of the things that really sucks about 2018. And yes, you got to get with the times. Things change, and maybe I just sound like somebody who's older, who's holding on to what music used to be. But the thing is, I just believe that with music, it's such an art form that you got to respect the art form. It's not always going to just be about you. You know what I mean? Like, and so when I think of like these titles and the kings and the queens, which I don't like, I don't ever call any, other than Michael, I'll call Michael the king of pop all day. I'll call Whitney Houston the voice. Other than that, I don't give anybody else any titles, to be honest. But when I think of something like a Michael king of pop, and by the way, this is not trying to compare Michael to him and vice versa. I'm just saying, I'm using this as an example. When you think of Michael Jackson and that whole title of king of pop, he didn't even get that title until he was almost 20 years into the game. When he came out with the Jackson 5, he was not the king of pop, even after getting like 5 back-to-back #1 hits with the Jackson 5, or 4 or 5. There was no king of pop, nothing. He had a huge career with his brothers, and then he started solo and Off the Wall, sold like 9 million copies. He still wasn't the king of pop. He came out with Thriller. He sold 47 million copies of an album in 2.5 years. Still wasn't the king of pop. People were not trying to give it to him. He didn't even get that title until the Bad era. It wasn't until after them 5 #1s off the Bad album where people were like, all right, we'll give it to him. And when you thought of king of pop, it meant that universally he was the face of pop music. He was the go-to person for everything. When it came to the best music videos, it was going to be Michael. When it came to the biggest tours, it was going to be Michael. When it came to the biggest hits, it was going to be Michael. When it came to just the biggest album sales, it was going to be Michael. When it came to impact and the household name and everything like that, it was going to be Michael. That's what King of Pop meant. Like, it just meant that, yeah, there's other people who are successful, but at the end of the day, there's no question that Michael is that. If you want to take a title like King of R&B, you got to make sure that your accolades align with the title. And I don't know if he has that yet. And I was thinking, like, well, what does King of R&B mean in 2018? Especially if he's making the argument about generations. Like, what does that mean? Because the threshold of how to measure success has changed, because it's not album sales. Nobody sells albums anymore because people, everything is in streaming. And even with streaming, the threshold of what counts as successful is questionable. Nobody really knows. But no, like I was saying, like, it's like people, they want everything instantly. And I think that's what kills music. Because here's the thing. Music is a language that everybody can speak and interpret, but they do it all differently. And music is so interesting that it can bring people together. But what's happened in this current industry is that it's really sometimes not about the art form and the music. It's just about the faces of it. And so now people are coming out and just doing any and everything, and they got a title. And I say, when you want to talk about music and you want to talk about quality, because at the end of the day, you can be the hottest thing out, but you can be gone tomorrow. So it's like, well, what are you doing to make sure you have longevity? Like, when I look at music and I look at like artistry and the good artistry, look at it like food. Look, I like to eat, so I'm always going to use food as an example. Like, think about like when you make something in a crock pot. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, maybe you're making some kind of roast or some kind of stew or something. And I mean, you put all the vegetables and the whatever meat you're using and all the seasoning and the little water and everything, and you put that baby on low. You go and do all kind of errands. I mean, you go to the barbershop, get your hair cut. Maybe you take your girlfriend to get her nails done. Y'all go to the mall. You get the car wash. You cut the grass. You go visit some other friends. Y'all go and get lunch. You come home. Y'all doing laundry. You done watch some Netflix movie, everything like that. And it's been 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, sometimes 11, 12 hours. And then finally it's time to eat. And you take that lid off that crock pot. I mean, the smell just, you're like, all right. And you put this stuff in the bowl and you start eating. I mean, the meat's just falling off the bone, like everything's savory. The flavor is just marinated. It's just saturated. It's just quality. That's symbolic of just the investment and the time and the effort put into the product. And you just get something really great. In comparison to if, let's just say you were trying to, saute a quick chicken breast on the skillet real quick. You struck while the iron was hot. You know how that's 2018. Everything is about what's current, what's at the moment. And so you struck while the skillet was hot. You threw that little chicken breast on there with the seasoning, but you didn't pay attention to the details, and somehow you messed up the chicken breast, and now it's dry as hell. The seasoning's there, but you can't get past, there's no amount of seasoning that can get past that dry texture. And that chicken nasty, it's dry, you forcing yourself, you got to drink 3 glasses of water to try to get it down, and you done already paid $5, $6 for that pack of chicken, so you still gonna eat it. Anyway, I think that's 2018. The chicken smelled good. It was instant. It was the hottest thing at the moment. And then you bit into it and it was like, okay, maybe if I put some lemon juice or something on it, maybe it'd tenderize the meat. I don't know, it's a little dry. So this is a lot of chewing, man. We're doing a lot of chewing right now. And so I think that's 2018 sometimes for a lot of acts. Like, and it's not everybody, because like I've said before, and really I should be just doing an R&B is Dead episode, because we're overdue for one of those. I think we should do one this week. I agree. You agree too? Yes, good. We'll do one. But everything, because like I said, there's some really, really great artists out there that we just don't know about, and it's fine. But the ones who are getting pushed, a lot of the things that's happening is that everything is instant. What can you do for me right now? And I think it comes with the idea of streaming. Streaming has made music more instant and more accessible, which is cool. But the anticipation, the excitement that comes with a project is no longer there, because people now expect you to constantly come out with music every 2-3 weeks. Every 2-3 weeks, you need to be dropping something every other month, all the time. And so it's killed the momentum of a great project. You know what I mean? And the quality is down, because now you have to constantly remember to release music. And that's why I was asking, what does it mean to be the king of R&B in 2018? Because one, if you want to say, okay, well, for this generation, I'm the king. But this generation doesn't buy music anymore. It's all streaming. People are clicking your music for free and listening to it. I think there's a different dynamic with that in comparison to people from earlier generations that went out and spent $13.99 on your CD, or $17.99 on your CD if you bought albums back in the 90s, or even just 10 years ago, people spent $9.99 on iTunes. People aren't doing that no more. Everything's streaming. So, Okay, so you got some 13 and 14-year-olds clicking and listening to your music for free. They're not even paying for it. So my question is, well, what is the standard? And I think that's why as acts and entertainers, you're gonna have to want to appeal to more than just one generation. This is not to knock the younger generation, because listen, I'm always anxious to see how everything works with each generation. And for him, he works for a lot of them. Like my teenagers really enjoy his music. They really gas him up. I'm like, well, hey, cool. That's great. But I think there has to be an effort to appeal to more than just one generation, because again, the way that the music industry is set up, streaming is not going to get you anywhere, unfortunately. It's not bringing revenue to the labels like it used to be. This is not the era of, you go and sell 10 million copies of an album that was purchased and you just got your record label, what, 70 to 100 million dollars off that one project. And that money was enough to generate, the revenue to pay for new videos and pay for the big tour and all, those days are gone. So, in 2018, you can stream however many hundreds of million copies of the song, and it didn't even bring that kind of money to the label. You're only getting 0.006 cent per sale of a song on streams right now, depending on the service provider. Like Tidal has one threshold, Apple Music has one, Spotify has one. Like, it's a different era. So it's kind of like, I don't know, man. And like I said before, I just think music, it's so universal. Like, the coolest thing about music is that it really is a language that everybody speaks. This is why, like, when you watch a movie, the score is so important. The score is just the music you hear in the background. Like, you ever watch a movie, I don't know, it's some movie where there's the school that isn't as affluent as the others, and maybe they have, a basketball team that they didn't have enough money for jerseys, and they've had a really hard time, and some of the players used to have to dodge bullets when they went to school. But at the end of the movie, they beat that rich private school from the other side of town, and then you hear those strings, and you hear that violin, and you hear all that crap, and that music is indirectly letting the audience know that this is the time to be happy for the people who just won the whatever game. And it enhances the scene. Some people watching cry tears of joy. Other people feel this sense of euphoria. The music has indirectly made that connection with the audience. It's the same as if you watch a television show and, like, maybe they have the whimsical music, like a show like Blackish or Modern Family. They don't have laugh tracks, but they have whimsical music when a scene is supposed to be funny. That music indirectly connects with the listener or the viewer and lets the person know that this scene is funny. So even if you already thought the scene was funny, it becomes funnier because the music enhances that conversation that you're indirectly having that you didn't even know you were having. Same thing with even when they would do these TV shows in front of a live studio audience or have a laugh track. Even if you were watching something that was funny, the idea and that choral sound of an audience laughing at a scene indirectly makes that specific scene even funnier, because the sound of just those voices in a cohesive unit laughing at a scene that may be extremely hilarious, it just makes it even better. That's what music can do. Music is really that kind of art form that's that unique. And so I think it's hard in this era to experience that sometimes because the industry has made everything so instant. This is a very what have you done for me lately generation, and every generation has been that way, to be honest. But now, because we have social media and we have streaming and we have everything like that, it's even more instant. What can you really do for me lately? And so now you got the artists that always dropping something every 5 minutes, and the quality's not quite there in the same realm. And don't get me wrong, it's not everybody. Like I said before, there are some really, really great artists out in the trenches of the internet. And even with JACQUEES, his music's not bad. I think his music's okay. I just think he has to slow his roll. Earn those accolades. Because I think how his way of going about it is kind of a slap in the face to the other people who are currently out. I've seen some conversations and people, were bringing up R. Kelly and Usher and all of them. Yeah, they're all great. But I think to his point, if he is talking about his generation, those people are not his generation. But, I think a closer conversation would be the current acts. Because even like Miguel, Chris Brown and them are great, but I think even they are an earlier generation. This current generation, if I'm thinking of the 14, 15, 16-year-olds, they're not even quite for that generation. Because, Chris is pushing 30. And 30 is not old, but for them, when they're looking for somebody who is, 17, 18, 19, 20, okay. But then I look and I'm like, well, who are those people for, that demographic? I still wouldn't think it's JACQUEES. I don't think it's anybody. I don't really think they have one right now. I think it's an open lane and it's up for grabs. And it's like, well, who wants to take it? But in order to take it, you got to put out the accolades. You got to put out the work. You have to have that consistency, And it's so funny. Like I said before, I work with kids. And what I always try to do is I always try to introduce them to like different elements of music. Like when we're doing homework, I always have music playing because I've learned that music therapy is a great way to calm kids down when they got to do homework, because I work in the after school realm. You know, I work with kids when they done sat down for 8 hours of school and now they want to run around and get all that energy out. But unfortunately, when they come to my center, wait, we got a little bit more work for y'all to do, because we just got to make sure we got to reiterate whatever you learn and make sure you're where you're supposed to be. So I've learned that using music is a great way to kind of help the kids, you know, debrief, bring energy down, focus on whatever little work assignment we're doing, and then they can do all the playing. But I always play different genres of music, and it's so funny because as I've been in my job, like in the later years that I've been at my job, it's harder to get away with it. I used to play like different genres and different decades, and the kids are always like, Mr. Michael, what is this? Oh my God. And I'm like, listen, I'm trying to expose y'all to some other stuff other than what you hear all day. Now shut up and enjoy this Sade. You better enjoy these flutes. But that's not how I say it, but like that's what I want to say. But anyway, you know, I'm not gonna knock JACQUEES. You know, do you, sir? Enjoy your fame, make your music, be great, be happy. But you know, everything will come in due time if you've done everything the right way. Things will align. So don't force yourself on that title. The title is always given to you. You don't claim it. You know what I mean? Because then that makes you a target. Now everybody wants you to fail. That's how things kind of work. So, you know, I'm not going to knock him. I think there's potential. I just gave him some kudos from the Soul Train Awards performance. A few kudos. So, you know, good luck to him and everything. But it's just, you know, you don't want to come into the industry burning bridges right off the bat. Like, you just got here. You just got here. You know, you just pulled in the parking spot and the car is still hot. You know what I mean? You can't get too comfortable yet. Like, slow down. Slow your roll. Your time is coming. Anyway, I owe you guys some video subscribers, so let's try to get a few in this week. I know listen, life is, man, it's like once you start getting on a roll with something, your time is just everywhere. But anyway, we will catch up. I am gonna do an R&B is Dead this week. I'll do one this weekend, hopefully. Anyway, I'm out. Subscribe.